Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next update for my No Pan Left Behind. If you don't know, this year I'm trying to reach for all of my eyeshadows, both in palettes and singles, and this project is here to help me reach for all of my palettes. So I've been doing this throughout most of the year. I didn't do it in January, but since then I've been doing it every single month, where I work on 3 palettes at any point in time, and I want to reach for them No Pan Left Behind. So I'm going to go through the 3 palettes that I had in my rotation for the last month, and I'll let you know if I reached my goal or what the situation is today. But before I jump into any of that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So like I said, I've been working on 3 palettes for the past month, and I have them right here. So first up, we have the Natasha mini gold palette. It is mini green, but it's the mini gold palette. We have the Art Paris Edit palette, and we have the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. So let's go through them in order. The one that's most recent finished No Pan Left Behind is my Metropolis palette. I completed this No Pan Left Behind yesterday, and I'm really excited about that. So this is quite a large palette. It has 28 shades. So I won't really go through every single look that I did with palette, or like which shades I used for which look, because it's way too many shades. But I did do a couple looks that I really liked. I did some like more green leaning, like some green mustardy looks. I also had a lot of these more neutral tones, worked really well with other looks in combination with more kind of neutral tone looks. So I used them in a lot of that way. And then it's been a really fun palette to play around with. I can see that it's getting more used, but I haven't shown this palette nearly enough love compared to like what I want. But it's also fun because apart from this shade down here, all of the use in here is basically organic. I haven't really had it in any projects apart from that one shade, which was in my Panos eyeshadows. So I'm happy that it's getting a few dips used from organic use. But that is this palette. And again, I did complete my goal on this one yesterday, so this one will be rolling out. So let's just stick with Natasha Denona. So let's do the mini gold next. This one is a palette that I got recently, actually a couple of months ago now, from my friend Martina, and I was really excited to play around with this one, but I just didn't get a chance to before. So I introduced it into this project to get some more use out of it, and I am happy to say that I did create a look with this one. I created a nice look with this for date night, and I used all 5 shades in one look. That's what I tried to do with the minis. I want to see if all the shades go together in one look, because I also know that I could easily do several looks as well. I mean, I could do one with just like this more mustard tone here, like mustardy brown shade, and like maybe the golden lid to make more like a less of a green look. I could also use this one, like these 2 here, for a lone stunning look. I could also do the green with the gold, and there is a lot of variety in that sense, but I do also want to see how all the shades work together. And I really did enjoy the look that I created with this palette, and I'm excited to play around with it more, but for now this one will be rolling out of this project. And the very final palette that we've been working on, like I said, was the Paris Edit palette from Art. This one is this one that looks like this. You can see it right there. It is a really stunning palette. I was really happy to play around with this one. It was the first time for me trying Art, and I really like the formula. I understand why it's so hyped up. These are also magnetic. You can take them out of like the little pan, so you can take them out like this, which is really convenient. So I actually brought some of these for a wedding that I went to, and they performed really well. So I did do a couple of looks with this palette. I think I created like maybe 3 looks overall, and this one has really opened up my eyes for Art. I might try other palettes in the future. I want to try more of these small palettes, but I also want to get a big one so I can fit my Cleon eyeshadows in with the matte. That would be like a dream. But I'm really excited about this formula, and I was happy to play around with it. Again, this was a gift from my friend Martina, so it's been really nice to play around with it, and I finally showed this palette some love. So before I move on to showing you the palettes that I'm rolling in, I do just want to cover the palettes that I used No Pan Left Behind in the past month. Granted, like I'm going to cover the 3 that I already mentioned too, but I do have a couple more. So the first palette that I completed No Pan Left Behind in the past month was actually Natasha Denona Gold palette, like the full side gold. I created a couple looks with that. I've been actually working on that palette a lot this year, and there was a lot of shades that I already used in there, but I did reach for the very final shades this past month to complete that goal. Then the second one was the mini gold, already covered that, but that was the second one. And then the third one was the Natasha Denona California Coast palette, which was in my deck of panning for No Pan Left Behind. And I completed No Pan Left Behind in there. I already covered in that video how I used it. But basically I used all of the mattes in like a kind of wing shaped look that I had in my, was it my Armageddon project pan? I think so. And then I used like the shimmers, most shimmers apart from one in one look, and then I used the remaining shimmer in a separate look. I think, if I remember correctly, that's what I did, but I used that palette. And then the last 2 palettes is just the 2 that is in this project. So we have the Art Paris Edit and the Natasha Denona Metropolis. So I have hit 5 more pallets this past month, which brings me to a total of 40 pallets that I've reached for No Pan Left Behind. And I currently have 52 pallets in my collection, so 40 out of 52 gives me a percentage of 76.92. So I'm doing pretty well. I am ahead of schedule, obviously, at the end of September, so in about a week. I will be at like the 3/4 mark, so that would be 75% of the year. So I'm slightly ahead of schedule. I don't have too many pallets left to go. I only have 12, so I'm hoping that I should be able to hit my goal on those. So let's see what I'm introducing for the upcoming month. So the 3 palettes that I picked out, I have them in front of me. The first one is the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia. This is actually a palette that I've reached for a little bit this year. I reached for a few of the shades, but not all of them yet. But a lot of the palettes that I have in my collection are things that I have partly reached for, but not all the shades, or it's just really winter tone palettes, which I'm not feeling at the moment. So that's why I'm introducing some palettes that I might already reach for a little bit, but I just want to complete the No Pan Left Behind goal on this one. So this is the palette. I don't know exactly which shades I have already used. I think the shades here, like I know I reached for these ones. I also have reached for Sand because I was in a project. I think Trust Issues too, but I think I have at least half of the palette left. So if you can hear someone drinking water, that's my dog. She's drinking some water next to me, but hopefully you can't pick that up. But anyway, I want to reach for the rest of this palette No Pan Left Behind, so that is the first one. Another palette that I'm introducing that I have already reached for a tiny bit is my Mercury Retrograde palette from Huda Beauty. This one looks like this, and it's technically more of a spring tone palette to me, but I have a couple shades in here that I haven't reached for yet this year. So this is another one that I just want to complete No Pan Left Behind on. I will try to reach for every single shade in this palette in the next month, but even if I just complete the remaining shades, that's fine by me. I just want to reach that goal. So that is the second palette. And then the third and final palette that I'm introducing is actually another Sydney Grace palette. This one is the Mountain Trail palette, which is a perfect autumnal palette. This one looks like this, and it's like green, kind of mustard yellow palette, and it's absolutely stunning. I think this one is going to be really fun to play around with for autumn, and I can create some really nice like green toned kind of looks. So those are the 3 palettes that I'm introducing. This, by the way, I haven't reached for it all this year, so I do have all 9 shades to reach for. But those again are the 3 palettes that I'm introducing. I'm hoping to complete my No Pan Left Behind on these 3 at least, and hopefully like 1 or 2 more palettes outside of this project. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, I had a lot to talk about in these videos because I had a lot of palettes that I reached for No Pan Left Behind each month. But since the number is getting lower, I can talk about less and less palettes each month, but that's fine. I just want to reach for that goal fully. So I'm going to try to push for this, and I don't know how many palettes I can complete by next month, but you know, again, I have 12 palettes left to go. So if I can do like 5 next month, that would be really, really good, but we just have to see how I go. So that is it for today, you guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are tracking your palettes like I am, let me know how you're doing, how many palettes have you reached for No Pan Left Behind this year. So I just hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.